city of Thou Mayest where coffee and cocktails collide. But before we meet Bo, one of the co-founders, let's head to the roastery and see where all those beautiful beans begin. So first off, how did all of this come about for you?
Well, my dad used to roast coffee in the 90s, and so I kind of grew up in high school with him always getting new coffees, roasting new coffees, and so that was kind of interesting. And then once I graduated college, he actually got me a little home roaster for a graduation present.
Really?
Yeah.
So he was roasting coffee for fun, or
Yeah.
did he do it professionally?
No, not professionally. He was on a quest for like the best cup of coffee, and somebody said, you know, you can roast at home. And so he found a home roaster, and then so for about 7 years, he would just roast at home. And then when I was off at college, he would send me care packages with all this coffee roasted at home. So everybody at college, like I became better friends with people just because of that coffee that I was able to get. So.
Well, no wonder you ended up in this profession. You have this cafe, so obviously you're supplying your cafe, but you also have wholesale clients and then a subscription.
Right. How that works is basically we have wholesale customers that we provide coffee to that they can either serve at their coffee shop, bakery, anything like that, or if they just want to have our 12-ounce bags to put on the shelf. And then we have the online model that we continue to push, and from there you're able to get the subscription, so you can basically choose, yeah, once a week I want 1 bag, 2 bags, whatever it is, and then we just basically produce everything here to order. So once they order, we get it, we roast it, and we ship it the same day.
Oh, so it's the freshest coffee
you could possibly get.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to drink a cup of Thou Mayest coffee, what's different about it than maybe somebody else?
Sure. So at our core, what we try to do is hit these main profiles that we think that most people are looking for. We basically have Smooth Operator, which we're going to say is smooth, easy to drink, right down the middle. We have Wild Child, which is going to be a little bit brighter, a little more complex. And we have Bold to Go, which is going to be basically a darker roasted coffee. And then we have Alter Ego, which we use for our house brew and espresso. And then we have a decaf option. So we have these 5 coffees that are named the same thing, and throughout the year as we get fresh harvests of coffee, we can basically find something that's going to fit that profile. So when you come back in a year, it may not be the same coffee, but you know exactly what you're going to get because you're looking for that particular profile. So we make it very, very easy.
So kind of by branding it and positioning it with the coffee experience that somebody wants to have, that helps people connect with the brand and know what they want.
We took a cue from the beer industry, because they don't tell you what grains or hops. They tell you this is an IPA or this is a stout or whatever it is. And if you trust that company and you've had it enough, you know what to expect from that. Even though the ingredients might change over time, you expect that particular brand and that particular item to get the thing that you want. And so we basically were like, well, that's easy. We should do that. Use beautiful packaging and people will get exactly what they want.
This beautiful roaster. You said it's made in America.
Yep, in Idaho.
Really?
Yeah, very nice. So especially working from what we had before, we kind of liken it to before we had a 92 Camry that would get you from A to B, and then we upgraded to a brand new Dodge Charger. So it was a huge step up in quality and volume for us.
If you've never roasted coffee or seen the process, it's actually pretty simple. I mean, all you're doing is applying heat to the surface of these beans, which have been fermented and dried. So really what differentiates you is the way that you control the roast, and then also the quality of the beans that you're starting with, right?
That's right.
So take me through this machine and how it works.
Sure. So we start with the green coffee beans, and basically inside is this rotating drum that has fans in it. Once you put the coffee in there, it rotates in here under a certain amount of heat and then a certain amount of airflow through the drum. And so basically we control those variables of heat and airflow over time. Once it's roasted in there from 12 to 16 minutes, it drops into this cooling tray. This agitates it, and then there's airflow that will cool it down. And from there, it's ready to get packaged.
So when you met Bill, what was it that inspired you guys to get into the coffee business?
The motive and the heart about what we do is like, it's all about connections. It's all about relationships. We happen to just love these great drinks that are facilitating that.
The drinks are almost a vehicle to create a point of connection for the city.
Being able to celebrate that in a physical space, that was really important to us. A lot of people say, what is Thou Mayest? For us, it's a movement. And explaining that a little bit, it's from John Steinbeck's book called East of Eden. It means the way is open. This area of town specifically attracts the movers and the shakers and the doers. So when you get all that energy and you're attracting that and it's all in one space, you know, the question is, what's gonna come out of that? So when everybody says like, hey, you're the coffee guy, and I'm like, I run the idea brothel. This is the place where ideas come to like commingle, and you can get buzz like either in the AM or in the PM, because some people are most creative in either of those states, you know, and like, let's get something done. It's not just a, you know, let's sit around and talk about it. It's like, now what? Yeah. So that now what is something that is core to the movement that we're trying to create.
You obviously have your standard lattes and espresso and things like that, but in the evenings you switch over.
There is a switch that happens.
Yeah.
In the mood and the lighting and just the general ambiance and vibe. It's so hard to slam coffee and cocktails together. They're two very separate industries. So people are looking at us and they're like, oh, come now. Like, why would you put, you know, coffee with that? And you know, that's a beautiful coffee by itself. And I'm like, but it's even better in this cocktail. And that's why we like this bar side, is it's allowed us the creativity just to be kind of irreverent with the product.
So tell me about the Spirit of Kansas City, or the Spirit of KC cocktail that you have on the list.
Yeah, that was a fun one. It has Luxardo, it has lemon, it has Rieger whiskey and Amaro in it. The coffee's in the Amaro. It's a very coffee-forward product.